Morning YouTubes. Let's talk about gay marriage, shall we? This morning, some of the first same-sex marriages were held in England and Wales, which is fantastic, but we have some catching up to do here in the States. And it's kind of funny because Michigan's already okayed it, and my home state of Ohio is lagging behind. So that's just it, Buckeyes? We're just going to let Michigan beat us? Fortunately, with our Governor Kasich, that seems to be the case. And I don't see it changing anytime soon, unless he's elected out of office, to be quite frank. Hell, Mississippi could beat us by it. No, we'll probably still beat Mississippi, because it's fucking Mississippi. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the different ways that comedy handles the concept of gay marriage. And especially the standard joke responses that you have, depending on whether you're conservative or liberal. And considering how many few socially conservative comedians there actually are that are successful, a lot of this response line tends to happen at political rallies, less at stand-up shows. And the standard conservative byline is, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Which is kind of ridiculous considering how much goes into the embryonic stages of development, determining what makes a man, what makes a woman. And you can have someone that's both genders or neither. Human sexuality is a lot more complicated than just the standard binary that socially conservative people seem to think it is. And there's even entire cultures that have multiple more genders. If I remember right, there's at least 5 in India, several different cultures in Southeast Asia and Africa that have numerous genders. In South America, if I remember well. Jacqueline Glenn did a great video talking about those embryonic stages of development and how it stumps people when they get to that question. What makes a man? What makes a woman? Because, frankly, we all started as female before we had testosterone put into us, giving us the Y chromosome. Those of us that are male. And that's less than half of us. So it gets really complicated really quick when you actually stop to think about it. Then you have the standard liberal byline, which tends to be something like, let him be as miserable as everyone else. It's a difference between otherization and inclusion as far as I can tell. The conservative mindset seeks to separate others. These people are lesser than us, and we're better. So let's keep them over here, just to make sure we know that. Whereas the liberal mindset, and remember this is small c, little l, liberal and conservatism, because, again, things are more complicated than standard binaries that American politics tends to see things as. It's a lot more complicated, especially considering big L liberalism is both in little c conservatism and little l liberalism in America. But anyway, it really shows a difference in values. And there's a lot of different factors, but I have to think that it has to do with the basic way comedy works, and I'm not going to try to pull an E.B. White and dissect a frog, but I guess I kind of am. So fuck it, let's kill this frog. So basically, comedy works through the formula of tragedy plus time. If you haven't had any experiences, any tragic experience, any hardship in your life, then you're going to have less to draw from, less experience to draw from to express comedy. Whereas people that are in a position of lesser power and have seen hard times, people that are poor, people that are minorities, just people that have been downtrodden, women more than men experience their share of hardship more than is usual, and people that have seen that can draw from experience, no matter their gender, no matter their race. But it helps if you are that minority. It gives you that personal experience that that you inherently have to deal with every day. And with that aspect, it goes into the idea of punching up or punching down. When you're punching down, you're basically beating around people that are already in a lesser position of power. And it makes you look like a dick. It makes you look like Rush Limbaugh, who frequently punches down. And all of the jokes that he makes. Pretty much all of those Clear Channel comedians, entertainers, are pretty much of this ilk. Whereas when you're punching up, you're knocking at ideas that are prevalent, or even things that that are often considered to be, racist or sexist, depending on the context and depending on the person themselves delivering this context. It can make a world of difference how that message is received. Excuse me. You had this issue yesterday of this cancel Colbert hashtag over something on his Twitter page said, not actually his Twitter page, but the Colbert Report, says, "I am willing to show hashtag Asian community I care by introducing the Ching Chong Ding Dong Foundation for Sensitivity to Orientals," or whatever. And a lot of people got pissed off. Actually thought it was especially funny considering Stephen Colbert's actual Twitter page, Stephen at Home, responded, hashtag cancel Colbert. I agree, just saw at Colbert Report tweet. I share your rage. Who is that, though? I'm at Stephen at Home, because that's him, and his Colbert Report page is probably run by some intern or something. So anything that people said about Colbert being racist, it kind of misses the mark, and it especially rings hollow considering he's had this Ching Chong Ding Dong character for what, the past 2 years or so? And to attack him now on this, on a stupid tweet, seems really, really stupid. Especially considering people know how he actually is and what kind of person he actually is. So it's not like he's Rush Limbaugh, who's making snide remarks about everyone that isn't a white, cis, waspy male. So yeah, I mean, I just have to think this whole hashtag cancel Colbert is just ridiculous. Satire. It's satirical. Maybe you need to look it up. Then you have other things. This is kind of a landmine to hop up and down on, but I'm gonna make a nod to St. George Carlin. Some people say you can't talk about certain things. Some people say you can't talk about rape. I think rape's hilarious. And I'm not saying that myself. I'm saying this as a byline. If you haven't seen the act, go look it up. George Carlin rape. Imagine Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. That's fucking hilarious. When you have a person who people know and they can relate to, and he has an audience who he's connecting to, they know he doesn't believe these things, but he's just relaying these ideas and these concepts, that can make a world of difference. And then you have people like George Michael, who really wasn't winning over his audience, and George Michael, you know who I'm talking about, Kramer, and said some really offensive stuff. Yeah, he should get all the shit that he got for that, because that was stupid. I guess I've gotten off track off of gay marriage and got onto racism, but that's okay, because these things are fluid, you know. And then you have this thing with Nick Cannon, former Nickelodeon star, doing actually really good whiteface. It's actually, I mean, it's not like it's Soul Man stuff. It's not like White Chicks. And then he uses all those hashtags, hashtag farmer market, hashtag pics with my dog, hashtag food pictures, stuff like that. I mean, it was clever. I thought it was funny. And because it's just the one picture and trying to sell an album, making reference to the fact that he has a bigger white audience than he does a black audience. So, white people party music. I can understand the satire. I understand how people don't. Especially considering some of the comparisons they made to some actress I don't know or really care about. Not that I really give a shit about Nick Cannon. Let's clear that up right now. But I think the outrage is a little hollow compared to a girl who dressed up as Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. Great show if you haven't seen it. And people are making the comparison between that and between Nick Cannon looking like a ginger. I don't see it. Sorry. I look at the picture of the actress dressed up as Sue, as Crazy Eyes, and then I look at this slapdash Halloween costume. It looks like she slapped some shoe polish on her and twist her hot hair up a couple times. There's a little more to that. Hell, she didn't even get the right color for the jumpsuit. Sue's a trusted inmate, so she has one of the beige jumpsuits, not the orange jumpsuits. She didn't even wear contacts, so you got these bright blue eyes with this fake tan looking shoe polish all over her face. It looks a little bad. Thank God she didn't put on lipstick, because that'd be pushing it. But yeah, some of the stuff, it all depends on the context. It depends on the audience. It depends on how much trust you give to your audience and how much respect there is taking and giving. And if you don't have that trust, you're just going to look like an asshole. But if you build that audience, that credence, that if people know where you're coming from isn't a place of hate, people saying, let them be as miserable as the rest of us. Or, saying like, have you seen a gay wedding? Do you imagine how much money and tax revenue that would bring? And how much specialty gay marriage, licenses, caterers, flowers, all that stuff would be really good for the economy. Just like saying, and I mean, of course, there's people that just, they do the civil thing. They're people. They're just people. But it is making a nod, a little touch, a little side commentary. You don't think that that's a bad thing, that some gay people can be flamboyant. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that it can bring extra tax revenue, I think is a good thing for everybody. Same with pot. I don't smoke it. I don't have any interest in it. I know people personally that went to Woodstock and took the brown acid tent. I have no interest in that because I've heard some stories that just frankly don't sound that interesting to me. I've hung out with friends, I've gotten contact highs, and laughed like an idiot for a couple hours. But I just have no interest in it. It's not something that's ever interested me. My mom passed away because, she smoked cigarettes. She smoked them all the time. They killed her. And that aspect still sticks with me. I just have absolutely no interest in it. But, I don't have anything against people that do. I think there's a lot less harmful about it, about smoking pot, than there is smoking cigarettes because of all the shit they toss in there, than drinking several beers. I mean, you drink a couple beers, and I'm okay to drive, get in a car wreck, kill a bunch of people. Or you rob a liquor store, get drunk, kill a bunch of people, brain damage your friend, and you go to a fucking spa, Ethan Couch. Fuck that kid. So I don't think there's, anything wrong with pot. I think it's a lot worse than a lot of other things you can do. I think it should be legalized. It would give a ton of tax revenue. I think they made millions of dollars on tax revenue in Colorado. So why the hell haven't we done this already? I know that, fuck Nancy Reagan. Sorry, but fuck her. She was wrong about the war on drugs. Just say no. It's more complicated than that. People are more complicated than that. So you need to give them a little more fucking credit. Come on. Even the people that, they have the war on drugs because they have so much money in the prison system, because we have for-profit prison, which is fucked too. That just needs to fucking end. Because, there are so many people that go to prison are there on mandatory minimum sentences for the smallest amount of pot. And that's really common, especially in California. It's an issue. The prisons are overcrowded, and because we have a circular door system on our prison, it just means people are just going to keep coming back. They're going to end up getting to be better criminals because they're going to meet people that are bigger assholes than them, that have done some actual serious stuff that people need to be in prison for, not for pot. We need to end that. It'll take off the revenue for all those people with their pockets in the for-profit prison system. But you don't have to say that? Fuck those people. I've been saying that a lot this morning. Fuck those people. But yeah, it's well deserved. Anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more positive. All this weekend, VonLive.tv/FightHIV is doing a streamathon of all your favorite atheist personalities. Personally, I know I'm looking forward to Steve Shives tomorrow from 11 a.m. to noon. Before him is XX the Peach XXX. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen him personally. Coughlin afterwards, 12 to 1. You've got Skeptic Defense Show 8 to 10 tonight. And we've got Jacqueline Glenn at 11 p.m. To midnight tonight. So I'm really looking forward to those. Check out your favorite peeps on there. Donate frequently. Hopefully this makes a lot of money and we can help a lot of people. That's, once again, VonLive.tv/FightHIV. So give that a look-see. Hopefully, might see you in the chat. And I think with that, I'm going to end it. This went really well. I feel a lot more comfortable. Still got the shitty camera, but fuck it. It records. That's the important part. I'll eventually learn editing and stuff because I don't know how to do that. So I think how many times have I tried to record this? I think this is about 6th, 7th time or so, and it went pretty well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoy my extraordinary hair, because this morning, and I just don't give a fuck. I really don't. And go see Noah. Maybe hold up on this weekend so you can enjoy the stream. But if you're an open-minded person, go see Noah. I really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people are, but I know a lot of people are going to hate it. If you're a hardline, either way, if you're a hardline theist or hardline atheist, you're probably going to hate it. It's probably going to piss you off. But if you like stories and like the Apocrypha, it delves in the Apocrypha, which is awesome. There's so much interesting stuff in there. I'm so glad. I mean, it's Aronofsky. If you've seen Aronofsky stuff, this is actually going to be pretty easy. You can actually watch this, and you can bring a friend in who hasn't seen Darren Aronofsky, and you don't want to, well, you're going to traumatize them with this film anyway. But it's not going to be like Requiem for a Dream, where people are like, what does it mean for 3 days? So, yeah, introduce your friends to Aronofsky with this film, I would say. if you're worried about, oh my god, Christian messages, don't. It's not what you think. It's really not what you think. They actually deal with a lot of issues too. They deal with a number, but what about things? They even deal about why afterwards the first thing Noah does when they get to dry land is get shit-faced drunk. That was an interesting scene. But I won't say anything more about it. Go see that. Go watch the fight of the HIVs, and let's kick some HIVs' asses with money. Yay! All right. See you, YouTube.